Synopsis: this world visible to our eyes is only sound waves, so we cannot correlate our antecedents. We can see and hear the person, but that person does not exist here. Sound is not for hearing only, it works through touch and other senses. The sound wave makes us realize that the desired motion is self-knowledge that pervades the entire universe and is infinite in its expanse. Only sound existed in the primordial state. Sound is responsible for the beauty of creation. We will perhaps be surprised to know that we, and for that matter, the entire living world, have not come to this earth. How can it be so? What will we say about an object which does not exist, or whose existence cannot be traced? If we want to trace an apparently visible object, we cannot get its clue. The more we search, the more we get lost in it. The more we delve into it, the more we get lost amidst the intangible. It seems getting lost is the rule. At last we will find that we cannot even trace ourselves. So, this presence in this world cannot be accepted as a real coming. We can be confident of our existence when we will have the feeling truly about our existence and its knowledge. This feeling or knowledge that I exist must have a link with the eternal sense and sensation. Then only we can insist that we have come to this world. If that knowledge and feelings are absent, then we have not come here. If we want to scrutinize our presence in this world, we cannot trace it. Who comes then? Take for instance sound waves. If we turn on the radio, we listen to someone speaking from London, but we have not actually gone here. We cannot meet the person in London though we are listening to him. The voice reaches us, but the person does not come. This living world of ours, this creation, is in fact a sound wave. This world visible to our eyes is only a sound wave. Sound is inseparably associated with the cosmic universe. The great sound waves flowing in this universe indicates its existence. In every matter, there is sound wave, sound vibration, manifesting itself as a result of friction, and that indicates the materiality of the matter. In this universe of creation, every matter has a close relationship with every other matter. Whatever unity or diversity exists in this interrelationship, everything is manifesting individual entities in its own way through that sound wave. Sound vibration and sense perception are more or less particular aspects of the same condition. The sense is expressing itself through every sense perception. Every center of sensation is intimating every detail inherent in every atom to each other. It is intimating every object of comprehension about various aspects of objects worth knowing. All these indicate the work of a kind of sound wave. Sound is not for hearing only, touch also produces sensation. Thus touch, in that sense perception, performs the function of sound. The faculty of smell, sight, and hearing discloses the identity of everything in us through the sense organs. In this introduction, the realization is achieved by the sense perception of one entity. Real means of introduction and comprehension about other things are nothing but sound only. Action, reaction, and impact are created every moment of collision in touch, vision, thought, feeling, and knowledge. Sound continues to work in this condition of sense perception, arising out of this give and take process. This sound perception is controlling every aspect of sense perception. Sound vibrations merging themselves with identical conditions disclose the real form of all the objects of the same entity. Each and every atom carries the sound in it. In each of these carriers, atoms and molecules, sound exists as so many cells. Sound, as it were, exists in every atom of sound, and also in the whole matter as a subtle mixture of sound. That sound exudes from the body of every living being. Simultaneously, with the exudation, that sound wave flows across every atom of the universe. The existence of that sound continues under all conditions. The mind, as a sound wave, continues to advance in the entire universe simultaneously with the use of words. In that process of advancing, sound assumes the form, changing into a tune gets established in every atom, and in all objects under all conditions today. This tune or sound is in such a setting like a harmonium that it is, as if, automatically advancing in harmony, blending one condition with the other. It seems, music is played, beating time in such a way that songs roll on in the same tune and temperament. The sound is in such a state that, it seems, sound itself is creation. In the primal state, sound, it appears, brought beauty in creation. Sound entering into creation manifests its diversity in different forms, bodies, and varied displays. Amidst the creation, too, the tune of the great void is flowing. These tunes began to move so fast with the sole idea of fulfilling the void and blending with the void, that, as if creation had begun only then. The primal condition remains as it is even today, because there is no rest for the tune of sound so long as the integral, absolute whole cannot totally blend with the void. The unimaginable speed of sound waves, which is the only means of merging with the void, continues to flow still. The sound wave in that primal state is ceaselessly flowing with the same tune under the compelling urge of quest for the beginning. The sound wave operates in realizing the essence of knowledge in any of the thoughts conceived by the living world, at every moment. When that great essence of knowledge is awakened in every living being of the universe, sound wrapped in its own tune begins to advance, concentrating more and more towards the essence. At every moment, sound flows on, completely blending its own entity with the raptness of mind. Sound advances in that motion totally in its search for the untraceable. This concerns realization of the philosophical truth. Conditions relating to objects, or matter, are expressed in terms of symbolic personality through the medium of sound. Then that personality is expressed in words. Our ascetic practice, meditation, and physical practices are performed through the medium of words or thought. Then those cultures working on every atom enhance their significance. Many of them do not have the opportunity of realizing the limit of their knowledge about the chants. Some people, however, continue their chanting absorbed in its great meaning. In those chants, their life and mind remain engrossed in single-minded unity. The chantings thus advances with the sound and its meaning, inspiration of thought and temperament. This condition goes on in every atom of the universe. Not only chants alone, every sound wave too, goes on in this way according to the measure of the thought. Any sound vibration on which one concentrates works fast. Let us take the case of a person meditating for a certain stage of salvation, transcendent state, or meditative vision, adopting a certain symbolic object. The person thus tries to work up on desires and fulfillment in every atom and molecule, through senses. The person gets the response in every atom and molecule, just as one receives the response in a blended state following a particular course of culture. It indicates, every moment, how newer and newer circumstances evolve by the impact of new conditions that remained hidden for so long. So every new condition is given the name with relation to the old one. The individual keeps on continuing the silent chanting, heart and soul through that form, and deep sound vibration emerges within. That sound is blending with the great void. When the motion involved in this merging blends with the primal sound vibration, then the person's feeling of existence is truly established. One feels that one's entity has become one with the universal entity. In that awakened state, the sound vibration of the universal intimates and arouses the degree of that realization every moment. The reason is, where there is no limit, there is no trace. Only sound vibration indicates the trace in the wilderness. That sound is guiding us to the path, playing its own melody, and coursing its motion towards the universal motion. In that motion, the speed will get restricted by the realized significance. From that state of realization and motion, we are advancing forward towards the motion ahead, agitated and worked up by the thought process. The sound wave is making us realize that the desired motion is I, the self-knowledge, which pervades the entire universe and is infinite in its expanse. The impact of two sound waves of different conditions creates the flash flowing. Sound, motion, and electric vibration begin to flow much earlier. The first inception of motion begins from that sound. Light comes after sound. After that, touch begins showering of light. The illumined condition of showering of light takes speed quickly. Its real inspiration is sound, vision, and touch. The booming of sound itself, which comes later, is another form of tactile condition. However, in reality, the light that showers electric vibration is another form of sound itself. From an external aspect, light that comes to sight first is produced by touch in reality. Without touch, light cannot be generated. The tactile condition is a form of sound, or in other words, sound, the power of manifesting as light remains hidden only for the purposes of union. This state of unison is a phase of sound vibration. That sound vibration is the roar that will keep on flowing. The true aspect of breeding will come to pass only then. Passion plays a role in that unison, and that is the will force. Manifestation of that will force is the roar, a condition of sound. The mood for creation is at the root of this union. In the beginning of creation, it was in the form of sound itself, and then came the condition of touch. The first stage of the condition is the desire for sound. The condition for creation is the coupling between one thing and another. The prime factor in every object is sound, as it appears. So the need and desire for sound comes. Therefore, in that state, it was imperative at that moment of necessary ecstasy for the self to be worked up to the maddening pitch of everlasting raptness. It's then that creation started. In that condition, the early self had to intoxicate oneself in that sound vibration, engrossed madly in the pursuit. It's then that creation began. If one is engrossed in search of the significance of the sound, it is realized that only sound existed as sound wave in the primal state. The sense perception of that sound wave existed in the great void in this way. The sound wave, as if, was flowing independent of any specific condition. But the sound wave could not be in motion without some kind of matter. The void was such, however, where nothing existed, not even any condition. However, sound waves are not bereft of matter, and again matter is not devoid of sound. In this matterless state in the beginning, a feeling existed that such an unbearable state cannot continue. So, coming to the state of matter, a condition for the beauty of creation developed, as if, by the impact of sound vibration, after sound vibration. Let us apply our mind deeply on the state in which sound existed in the great void. Let us analyze how much it is plausible and fact-bearing. We may then comprehend and realize to some extent. Words come out simultaneously with our speech. Where were the words hidden? They were hidden in various conditions. We control our tongue by moving haphazardly in various places of our palate. Various types of devices are set and arranged for the control. In that control, wind appears, emerging out of several places, is agitated variously in the void or nothingness, and is expelled colliding with each other forming a particular set. If we follow every condition, we will find that every individuality is nothing but the work of a device or mechanism. These particular devices taking the form of sets of objects pull the words in those objects, or in other words, whatever may be the blending or mixing, it is expressed in a particular form and language, and used as sound and words. Where was that sound? That sound existed, it seems, in the empty space, in the state of a kind of mechanism. This great void is a big cavity. In the great void, the sound vibrations were agitated by the great change of conditions, and turned into mechanisms of special type. Those mechanisms invited sound in the void in reality. The empty space, the great void, turning into some kind of device created the mechanisms with sound. The result is the creation we are enjoying and realizing today. We find at the root of that realization that everything is influenced by the dominance of the great void. Sound vibrations are still flowing out in some kind of mechanism from the void. We now get an indirect presence of the void every moment in the existence of sound. In the cavity of the mouth and that of the great void, sound itself, as it were, is going on vibrating. Then in the course of agitation in the great void, matters or objects are released when the condition is ready. So the secret of the materiality of matter is thus found, therefore, when it is attempted to describe its true form, it all looks vacant and empty, as if there is no trace. The trace at some point leads to the great void. Every condition seems to vanish somewhere, leaving no trace by vanishing far away. That state of blending or merging is beyond all expression.